Have you ever pondered about the critical role security assessment methods play in information security? It's akin to the shields and armor that safeguard a castle, protecting the integrity, confidentiality, and availability of information. These methods are not just defensive mechanisms, they're proactive strategies that help identify vulnerabilities and mitigate potential threats. Think of them as the guardians of your digital realm, always on the lookout for any sign of danger. They scrutinize every nook and cranny, uncovering weakness and reinforcing strengths. And in an era where data breaches are as common as rain, their importance cannot be overstated. Yet not all security assessment methods are created equal. Some are more suited to certain situations than others. They range from penetration testing, vulnerability assessments, to risk assessments, each with its own strengths and unique approaches. With an array of security assessment methods available, understanding their differences is pivotal to choosing the right approach. From penetration testing to vulnerability assessments, each security assessment method has its distinct purpose and use. Let's delve into this a bit deeper. Firstly, we have penetration testing, or pen testing for short. It's like a real-world drill for your system. Skilled ethical hackers simulate an attack on your IT infrastructure to identify potential weaknesses. The strength of this method lies in exposing the actual vulnerabilities that could be exploited in a real-life scenario. However, a downside is that it can be time-consuming and somewhat disruptive to your day-to-day operations. Next up, we have vulnerability assessments. Unlike pen testing, this method involves systematic scanning of your system to identify known vulnerabilities. Its strength is in its thoroughness and efficiency. It can quickly scan large networks and databases, uncovering weak points that may have been overlooked. But remember, it only identifies known vulnerabilities. It may not catch zero-day exploits or more complex multi-layered attacks. Last but not least, let's talk about risk assessments. This method takes a broader view. It doesn't just look at your system's vulnerabilities. It also considers the potential impact of an attack. That is, what could happen if a vulnerability was exploited? The strength here is in its holistic approach, providing a big-picture view of your security posture. It can help prioritize remediation efforts based on potential impact. However, its limitation lies in its reliance on accurate and up-to-date threat intelligence. Without it, your risk assessment may not reflect the true risk landscape. So which method should you choose? Well, it's not an either-or situation. Each method has its place and function. Pen testing can give you a real-life view of your vulnerabilities. Vulnerability assessments can provide a quick and comprehensive scan of known weaknesses. Risk assessments can help you understand the potential impact of an attack and prioritize your security efforts. These methods, while different in their approach, are all integral parts of a robust security framework. Think of penetration testing as a simulated cyber attack against your system to check for exploitable vulnerabilities. It's like a fire drill for your digital infrastructure, ensuring that your defenses are up to the task. The purpose of penetration testing is twofold. First, it identifies weak spots in your system's defenses, be it outdated software, misconfigured settings, or loopholes in your security policies. Second, it tests your response mechanism, gauging how effectively your system can deflect an active cyber threat. The process typically involves defining the scope of the test, assessing the available information, attempting to gain access, and then exploiting the vulnerabilities found. It's a rigorous and comprehensive way to assess your system's security. How does this help businesses, you ask? Well, by pinpointing the vulnerabilities, businesses can address them proactively, fortifying their systems against potential attacks. This way, they're not just waiting for a breach to happen, they're actively preventing it. Penetration testing, thus, serves as a proactive measure to prevent potential cyber threats. Unlike penetration testing, vulnerability assessments focus on identifying, quantifying, and prioritizing vulnerabilities in a system. These assessments are like a doctor's checkup for your cybersecurity health, highlighting areas that need attention and treatment. The purpose of a vulnerability assessment is to unearth potential weaknesses that could be exploited by cyber threats. This process involves an in-depth scan of your IT infrastructure, examining every nook and cranny for possible vulnerabilities. It's not just about seeking out the weaknesses, but also about quantifying them. This helps businesses understand exactly how vulnerable they are to potential threats. But the process doesn't stop at identification. The next step is to prioritize these vulnerabilities based on their severity and the potential damage they could cause. This allows businesses to focus their resources on addressing the most critical risks first. The beauty of vulnerability assessments lies in their ability to offer a comprehensive view of risk exposure. By understanding your system's weaknesses, you're better equipped to manage your risks. Vulnerability assessments offer an in-depth understanding of system weaknesses to facilitate effective risk management. Risk assessments, on the other hand, help businesses understand the potential impact of identified vulnerabilities. They serve as a critical tool in the cybersecurity toolbox, shining a light on areas of potential danger. The purpose of a risk assessment is not just to identify these vulnerabilities, but to quantify their potential impact. This is achieved by examining the likelihood of a breach and the possible fallout if such a breach occurs. The process of risk assessment involves identifying potential threats, evaluating the vulnerabilities that could be exploited by these threats, and then estimating the potential damage. This information is invaluable in decision-making, as it provides a clear picture of where the greatest risks lie. Risk assessments aid businesses in prioritizing their security measures, helping them allocate resources effectively. It allows businesses to focus on the most significant threats first, ensuring that they get the most bang for their cybersecurity buck. Risk assessments, therefore, play a crucial role in balancing potential risks with business objectives. Choosing the right security assessment method is not a one-size-fits-all process. Throughout this discussion, we've explored the diversity of these methods, each with its unique strengths and application areas. Penetration testing, with its simulated cyber attacks, helps identify exploitable vulnerabilities. On the other hand, vulnerability assessments provide a broad view of potential weak points in your systems without actively exploiting them. Then we have risk assessments, which prioritize threats based on potential impact, aiding in strategic decision-making. Each method plays a crucial role in fortifying an organization's security stance. The key is to understand the nature of your business, its specific needs, and align them with the appropriate assessment method. Now remember, this isn't about picking the best method, but rather the right one, in tune with your specific context. Remember, the goal of any security assessment method is to enhance the overall security posture of an organization. So, choose wisely and stay secure.